It all started in the school cafeteria on what seemed like an ordinary Wednesday, but in one moment, everything changed. The sound of laughter echoed off the cold tile walls, but it wasn't the good kind. It was sharp, cruel, cutting through the hum of conversation like broken glass scraping metal. And in the center of it all stood Emily. She was quiet. Always had been. The kind of girl who sat in the back of class, who turned in her homework early, who didn't talk much, not because she didn't want to, but because she had too much going on. Her days were filled with doctor visits, pills with names too long to pronounce, and long, sleepless nights where her mother would hold her hand and cry silently when she thought Emily was asleep. Emily had cancer. Leukemia. She'd been battling it for nearly a year, and in that time, she'd lost more than just her health. She'd lost her hair, her energy, and sometimes, her will to keep fighting. But she kept going. And today, she'd felt brave enough to wear her new wig to school, hoping to feel, if only for a little while, like a normal teenager. She shouldn't have had to feel brave just to walk through a hallway. But high school can be a brutal place. And standing a few feet away were the worst of them all, Tyler, Mason, and Brielle. The self-declared populars, always sneering, always mocking. They'd targeted others before, kids who were overweight, kids who stuttered, anyone different. And now, their attention turned to Emily. Tyler smirked. "Hey, cancer girl. That's a new look. Who knew Barbie came in bald now?" Emily froze, clutching her lunch tray. Her cheeks flushed, but she didn't respond. She tried to walk past them, eyes downcast, willing herself to disappear. But Brielle had other plans. "Let's see what's under that thing," she sneered. Before Emily could react, Brielle reached out and yanked the wig from her head. Gasps exploded around the room. Emily stood there, exposed, her smooth, pale scalp gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Her lips trembled. Her tray clattered to the ground. Time slowed. Laughter echoed, but it was twisted and ugly. Tears welled in Emily's eyes. Then, a fist flew. The punch came so fast, no one even saw it coming. Brielle stumbled back, hitting the floor with a loud thud. The room went silent. All eyes turned to the girl now standing between Emily and the bullies. It was Jasmine. Jasmine had transferred to the school 2 months ago. A tall, strong black girl with braids that swung like ropes when she walked, eyes sharp as razors, and a presence that couldn't be ignored. She'd already had a reputation, fearless, quick-tempered, and not one to tolerate disrespect. "You think that's funny?" Jasmine's voice boomed, low and furious. "You think humiliating a girl fighting for her life makes you tough?" Tyler took a step back. Mason's face turned pale. Emily stood frozen, her chest heaving, trying to process what had just happened. "Pick it up," Jasmine ordered, pointing to the wig lying on the ground. None of the bullies moved. Jasmine stepped forward, towering over them. "I said, pick it up." With shaking hands, Mason bent down and handed the wig to Jasmine, who turned gently to Emily and helped her place it back on her head. Then Jasmine put a hand on her shoulder and said, "You don't owe them anything." Not a smile. Not a word. "You walk out of here with your head high. You're a warrior, Emily. Don't ever forget that." Emily nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks, not from shame but from gratitude. The principal was called, of course. There were consequences, detentions, suspensions, and meetings with parents. But something deeper shifted that day. The story spread like wildfire. Teachers stopped turning a blind eye. Students who used to laugh along started standing up instead. And Jasmine. She became a legend. But the real change happened between Jasmine and Emily. They became friends, inseparable, really. Emily taught Jasmine how to paint, and Jasmine walked her to class every day, daring anyone to say a word. Emily's health still had ups and downs, but now, she faced it with a little more strength. She'd always been brave. But now, she knew she wasn't alone. There were still hard days. Hospital visits didn't stop. The chemo made her weak. But something inside her had changed. The memory of Jasmine stepping in, of someone seeing her not as a sick girl but as a human being worthy of protection, had given her something stronger than medicine ever could. Hope. And Jasmine. She'd never really known her own strength before that day. She'd grown up fighting battles of her own, racism, judgment, being underestimated. But standing up for Emily helped her realize that being strong wasn't about fists or fury. It was about heart. About doing the right thing, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Years later, they would both look back on that moment as the day their lives truly changed. Emily beat cancer. Jasmine went on to become a social worker, dedicating her life to protecting the vulnerable. And every year, on that same Wednesday in March, they'd meet at